Traveling Pills.
I feel like our current look is maybe cluing people into what we're up to today. That we'll be posting about later.
Yeah.
Actually, it'll probably be posted by the time this episode goes up.
So absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
So we're going to Pride today in Middletown.
Yes.
Love whoever the fuck you want.
And my rainbow shirt.
Yep.
And our sparkles.
So we're bringing a little pride to
our episode.
Yeah.
Just a little pride, a little funness.
A little fun.
Because there's no better person to be than to be yourself.
Exactly.
And we believe in that, in equal rights, and love who you want to love.
Exactly.
Even ghosts love.
Exactly.
Even ghosts love. Which, if you come to one of the markets we're going to be at, you too can own that as a sticker.
Yes.
Merch right there.
Yeah. We'll eventually get it up on Etsy, but for now, come and find us at one of our markets that we're going to be doing.
We're going to be at the Goblin Market,
yes.
June 29th. Mm-hmm. Where in New Jersey is that?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's in New Jersey.
It's in New Jersey. They have an Instagram page. I don't know if they have a Facebook page, but they have an Instagram page.
Yeah, you can. If you just look up Goblin Market, New Jersey, it'll pop right up.
Yeah,
they do several events a year, and this is their Pride event.
This is their Pride event, and we're really excited that we're going to be vendoring there.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
We have some cute things, and we're participating in the artwork.
Yes,
which you may have seen hints on our not TikTok, on our Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy Pride to all who celebrate. And be true to yourself and be you, and remember you're not alone.
Yes.
You're not alone.
Yeah. Awesome.
So what do we got for today?
So it's been a minute since we've gotten to be in the same room together.
I know. It's been like 2 months, which is insane because that's not like us.
No. No. I feel like I've seen you, but like we haven't had like a moment to sit.
No, we haven't had a moment to like sit.
Yeah.
And back in March for my birthday, we went to, where in New York was that?
It was like
it was like
Ferndale, New York.
Ferndale, New York.
Yes.
That's right. Fern Gully is what I think of when I think of that. We went up to Ferndale, very beautiful,
so
Catskills, gorgeous.
Like not too far upstate, but upstate.
Yeah,
like Hudson
upstate.
Valley, Catskills-ish, yeah.
And we stayed in the most, like, it was such a cute house.
Oh, yeah.
I would absolutely stay there again.
It was so great. It was, like, close to the lake. It was, like removed enough, but not like you weren't like in a remote like scary.
And they did a good job because of where it is in the like cul-de-sac of like making the backyard private.
Yes.
With like the
little fence around it. Yeah.
Because there was like a fire pit area and there was a hot tub.
Yeah. It was a great little Airbnb.
It was just so perfect, and there was enough. There's 4 bedrooms. Well, 4 beds.
4 beds.
Tim and I were down in the basement.
Yeah, the basement was kind of set up as like almost like its own little private ensuite.
Yeah.
And then upstairs were an additional 3 bedrooms.
I think by the end of the weekend, Layla just started going out the basement door and up and around and through, because that was the only thing was that metal roundy staircase to get downstairs. No. So like by the end, like Layla and I were just like going through and up and around.
Well, that was nice that like you could go outside the house and then there was another door to the basement so then you didn't have to do that crazy winding staircase. Yeah. It was a cute house. It was like
super cute. Yeah. And their records, like their
they
collection,
had a collection of records and a record player.
Such a good collection. And the big wraparound deck up front, or was it wrapped? It was partially wrapped.
Yes.
It didn't go fully around.
It didn't go, it went like maybe like half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super, super cute place. So we went up there, and we had a bunch of adventures that weekend.
We really
did. Some fun stuff.
Yeah.
And we checked out some local diners.
Yeah.
And
local kind of like bar
What was
food
that
place.
bar that what was the name of it that was just like on the side of the road that we were like, let's just try this.
Roadkill Diner.
Roadkill Diner.
Yes.
And we have photos from there.
Yeah.
Because the story is in the menu about how the now owner came to own this restaurant. And the food for like
being kind of a hole in the wall, off the beaten path.
Yeah, middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Definitely like a divey kind of bar.
Yeah, absolutely. But the food was so
it was so good.
It was. They have a great chef. It was such good food.
They had a fun menu, like all sorts of stuff on it.
Yeah, and the staff was super sweet. They catered too, apparently.
Oh, I didn't realize
they were. I don't know if you like that morning. They were like.
Oh, that's right. They were doing like
They were like offloading and loading the vehicles for whatever they were catering.
That's right.
That day.
I do remember that now.
And was that the same day as the goat painting?
Yes.
Yeah, so for fun, it was so much fun. We went to this sanctuary. They have like, how many goats did they have? Like 75? Not there.
Yeah.
But I think they had over 75 in total.
Yeah, I was going to say it was close to 100 because they had like... They had the area in the barn where, like, you did your, like, paint and sip.
Yeah.
And then they also had, like, a whole outdoor paddock, another barn area.
Yeah.
And so they had, like, you know, maybe, I want to say, like, 10 goats in the barn with us.
Yeah.
But then as you're walking through, like, the paddock to get into the barn, like, there's goats roaming around.
Yeah, goats. And, like, while you're painting and stuff, they're, like, rubbing up against you.
Yeah.
Or like, butting heads behind you.
Yeah.
And then, like, when I sat down originally, there was this big older goat behind me that was just like his horns in my side. And I'm like, this is not going to work. So Tim switched with me, and poor Tim the whole time. And like she said to us, like with this particular one, he's really friendly, but don't touch him when he's eating.
Yes. And he was eating the whole time.
Yeah, he was eating the whole time right next to Tim. So there was like nothing Tim could do about the fact that he was like up against this goat.
Yeah. I feel that like one point I had like 3 surrounding me and I was just like, I'm not painting, I'm just playing with goats at this point. Like,
there's a photo I think of you and Layla just sitting.
Yeah, like with all these goats surrounding you. They were so cute.
Yeah, they were so cute.
It's a sanctuary. They don't breed them. They don't use them for milk and cheese.
Nope, they're rescues.
They're rescues. They're pets. Which is really sweet.
And so the woman who did the class, you could see like these were her babies, like every single one, like how much genuine love and like you know, her son had like a performance that night or something for school, and so she was just home, and it was just her and her goats, and she was so happy.
Yep. Yeah, it was so cute. She gave at the end little stickers of like, you got to pick your favorite goat.
Yes.
Little goat sticker.
Yeah, they're so cute. So cute. And we all made different goats. Not me. I made sheep and then wrote goat on.
That's true. You did do that.
But
yeah, we all were like inspired by the area and the goats, and we all painted.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to get a frame, but I'm definitely hanging Tim's goat.
Yeah,
like his goat is getting hung.
Yeah,
it's giving off very like Rick and Morty vibes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I love that everybody had like a very different like artistic style, but they were all so cute.
Yeah, they were super super cute. But yeah, so we went up there because we had absolute intentions. Wanted to do some filming. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Which is fine because it was a lovely birthday weekend.
Yes.
And it is what it is. And, but we were trying to get into the Shanley Hotel, and nobody had been answering phone calls or returning emails. And it come to find out they were renovating and it was shut.
Yes.
We didn't know though.
No.
But we still got to go to it and
see the
outside. Photos from outside.
Yeah.
And we want to try to go this summer, even if it's just for the day, because it's not a horrible drive.
No, it's a couple hours.
Because they do like a haunted tea party.
Yeah.
And then they have like psychics and whatnot during the session. And I really want to do that.
Yeah, they host a lot of like when they're not renovating. Yeah. They host a lot of like psychic events and
they do ghost tours. They do private and public. They even do like an afternoon one if like you have kids or like nighttime's too scary. Listen, I get it.
Exactly.
And it's known for being very haunted.
Yes.
Very active.
Yeah. It's not to be mistaken with the Stanley in Colorado.
Yeah. What was I doing last night? I was like, why can't I remember? And in my head I was thinking of The Shining and the Stanley. Yeah. And that is how I got to Shanley.
Yeah. Tracks. It makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely tracks.
But yeah, so you, they also, which we're sad we didn't get to go in, they do have a little gift shop there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I mean, maybe with the renovations they'll change this. I know that for a while they weren't, it was just for tours and like private bookings, that they weren't necessarily like renting rooms just as a standard hotel.
Okay.
But they do have on their website like a list of their rooms that are the most haunted to stay in. Yep. So I wonder like if at some point they were renting them and they paused, and maybe after these renovations
you'll get to like
them again.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be fun. But it seems like right now they're very much like in the private and public touring.
Yeah, come to do a ghost hunt. Yeah. Very open to that.
Yes.
And the supernatural and what may.
Yeah, they very much know like that this is a haunted attraction.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Lean into it fully. Yeah.
And on a side note, if you have to figure out what to do next, there's a Walmart nearby.
That's true. Yes. And full circle, the bar that we were talking about just a few minutes ago is...
It's not that far from there.
It's right,
Wasn't it like 8 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, it was super close.
Yeah.
It was, I just kind of was like, let's see what's close by. We want some food before we go to the goats.
Yeah.
And totally stumbled upon it.
It was perfect.
So perfect,
It's so perfect. But you got some history on the Shanley. I got some history on the Shanley.
So, we'll post a link if you just like Google the Shanley Hotel. Let's go back. You should go, if you're interested, go and check out their website.
Yeah, and it does look like it's reopened now, so you should be able to do things this summer.
Yeah.
We plan on going back because we wanted to, like...
See inside.
And like we didn't get to do that.
The photos of the inside are really pretty cool. Yeah, they are. I am curious.
Which is kind of funny to think from the outside, because it's not a really, like...
It looks a little run down.
It's a little run down, and even like the buildings around it is a little run down. Which is so funny that when you like turn the corner and there's a giant Walmart.
Yeah.
It
feels like very kind of like small town feel.
Yeah.
And then you turn a corner, there's a CVS and a Walmart.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
But I also recommend going and checking out because they have a very, very long history, which will spare you from reading the entire thing. But if you're interested, there's a ton of information. There's a timeline
on their website,
of like the history of it. There's a huge history. They also have you can click on and it shows like their haunted bedrooms, and they have pictures of the bedrooms.
Oh, we'll have to put some of that up. But yeah.
And then, which we were just talking about before we started this episode, they have a whole section of EMFs.
Yep.
But they have a whole from some of their ghost tours. Like there's a ghost cat.
Fun.
Yeah, that lives in the apartment, the hotel. And it's
now, has it always operated? I mean, I know it's not necessarily operating as a hotel anymore, but was it a hotel?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was in 1845. Thomas Rich was the first to put mortar to stone. Let's try that sentence again.
That's my job, Jeff.
Yeah. I was like, what just happened to the words in my mouth? In 1845, Thomas Rich was the first to put mortar to stone, or more accurately, nail to wood, because it is a wood.
It's a wood structure, yeah.
And erect the richest hotel on Main Street.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Fancy. Main Street is not fancy anymore.
No.
It's not a ghost town.
No.
By any means, but it reminded me of like an old mill town or an old like...
Yeah, it's definitely like one of the towns that's a little more run down now. Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted.
That's okay. Napanoch was a nice vacation destination for those attempting to escape the hustle and bustle of the larger cities. So it is like, because of where it is, like kind of in the Catskills, it's like maybe like a 2-hour drive from New York City.
Yeah, it was an easy like 2.5 drive for us even in Connecticut. It wasn't like a crazy drive.
I feel like because it's like up, like we're kind of the same distance. Yeah. So it was very much like a hub, and like even back then, like kind of a tourist destination.
Like a place to get away. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. There was a lot of like, they looked now closed, but there were a couple of like old like sleepaway type camp situation, whether it was family or kid.
Like what you would see in like Dirty Dancing.
Yes, like Dirty, yes.
They have a lot
of
those.
Or even, did you, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yes, that was the other one.
Yeah. Kind of like that, but like now abandoned. So like back in the day, they probably were very popular and like...
Yeah, like people would go up for like a couple months at a time.
Yeah,
and, like,
which would explain like having such a big hotel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now like this area is kind of run down.
Yeah, a little more run down. So this is I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, but this is just a quick like overview. Nestled in the foothills of this, oh God. So okay, I'm gonna pause for a second. It's a lot of.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So as you know from Napanoch, it's
Native American.
It's very Native American.
So we apologize if we butcher.
I will try not to butcher it, but I'm pausing to preemptively say sorry.
Yes.
So nestled in the foothills of the Shawangunk Mountains, it's this.
You read that right. I think you read that right. I don't know.
Fingers crossed. Is the small town of Napanoch, New York. Within its quiet street, it holds a treasure for both the weary traveler and the paranormal enthusiast, the haunted Shanley Hotel. The historic bed and breakfast has boasted several famous guests, as well as a few infamous ones that used to patron the Gentlemen's Club and Bordello.
Ooh.
All right.
Well done.
A few of those guests have never left and still linger in the corridors waiting to greet newcomers and welcome back the returning guests.
Okay.
So it has a lot of history. Like, as I said, it was first built in 1845. It changed hands a few times over the years. In 1887, Adolf Wagner became the new landlord. And then 8 years later, the most notable owner, and for whom the hotel is still named, was James Shanley.
Oh, okay.
When his family immigrated to New York from Ireland, James and his brother found success in opening restaurants and hotels across the country. He moved upstate, and discovered the beauty of the hotel and the town of Napanoch. He purchased the hotel for his own on October 1st, 1906.
Okay.
Mr. Shanley gave it his own touch by adding a bowling alley, billiard room, and even a barber shop to the building.
Oh, wow.
That's why I want to go inside. I have no idea, actually, like, how much of that still stands.
I know, that's crazy.
But you can see how much this was, like, people were going and vacationing and getting out of the city and, like, going.
It was a bowling alley.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right? So, very cool. There is a long history about James and his wife Beatrice, and sorry, I got distracted because the dog is snoring. It's so cute. It's a long history about their family, which is just a lovely little story about them, but kind of doesn't really touch a ton on the hotel.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But I encourage you all to go and take a look and read it. 'Cause
we always post our links to whenever we post the episode.
Exactly.
Because we all know we're not historians.
Exactly. Nope. So there has been some tragedies kind of surrounding the hotel.
Okay, so not necessarily like in it.
Yes, there's been some...
You were saying about a fire.
A fire, yeah. There's been some like kind of tragedies surrounding the hotel. There was, with the second owner, there was a fire. It didn't actually affect the Shanley Hotel, but it affected some buildings around it.
All right.
So that kind of in turn affected the hotel.
Yes, that would make sense, yeah.
I mean, honestly, there's probably some smoke damage.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but if, like, the other, like, businesses around you or, like, restaurants and shops and stuff.
Exactly.
And people are coming for the atmosphere and suddenly none of that is there. It's going to affect the business of the hotel.
Yeah. And so, there's... that could affect the paranormal aspect as well.
Absolutely.
So in September of 1915, another tragic moment occurred for a nearby family. Dr. Walter Nelson Thayer Jr., that's the name, was backing his car out of the alley that ran between his home and the hotel. His 5-year-old son...
It's my worst nightmare.
Right? Jumped onto the running board only to fall off again. The car backed over him. He did not die from the incident, however.
Well, that's good at least.
For many years, it believed the boy was, this must be after he passed. For many years, believed that the boy was a spirit affectionately called Jonathan that plays in the attic. If he wasn't the victim of the car accident, who is this little boy? A spirit that decided the Shanley was a nice home filled with nice spirits and guests?
Well,
perhaps.
It could have also just been like a guest that came every year, and that was like his favorite childhood place to go. Yeah. I'm happy to hear that the child did not get run over and die, but it's still like...
so tragic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing that's interesting is that there's like a lot of like stuff that kind of circulates, not necessarily like in the hotel, but there's some that history. Energy, yeah. Also, as I mentioned, there was so what was once called the Gregor apartment became an active bordello with ladies there to meet the ever pleasure of those who frequented the speakeasy and gentlemen's club.
Love that.
So there's also that was happening right in that neighborhood too. So there's a lot going on.
All right.
We're gonna jump forward in time. Okay. There was a bordello running. There was that kind of boom of visitors in the town when it was really kind of built up. However, throughout the next few decades, the Shanley changed ownership and even served the community as a tavern, the James Shanley Tap Room. In 1991, it closed its doors and was abandoned for over 10 years.
Oh, that's sad.
Right? Until a man with a vision and a heart of gold decided to take on the challenge of restoring the building to its former glory.
Aww.
In 2005, Salvatore Nicosia bought the Shanley unaware of the spirits residing within its desolate walls. It did not take long for the spirits to make themselves known to Sal as they saw his efforts as a labor of love benefiting of the noble history of the hotel.
Oh, fun.
Right?
That's fun.
From 2007 until his death in July of 2016, Sal poured his heart into the building, bringing it back to life and giving both guests and the spirits a second home. Now that the haunted Shanley Hotel has reopened, you will not want to miss the opportunity to sleep with the spirits. Maybe you will have the opportunity to catch a glimpse of Beatrice, James, Rosie, John, Joe, Jonathan, these are all previous owners, or the several other spirits that still linger in the corridors and rooms waiting to make you feel right at home.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah. There's also, as I mentioned, an entire timeline from 1845
Wow.
all the way, keeps going.
That's crazy.
To 2018, which is the hotel is reopened under new management.
Yes, it has.
Yes. So yeah, I highly recommend their website. It has a ton of information. We were also kind of in between takes listening to a couple of the EVPs. They have
creepy.
A ton
you
of
just
stuff.
go on YouTube too and put in the Shanley Hotel and ghost hunting or EVPs, and a lot of stuff pops up.
A ton of stuff pops up, yes.
Were there any specific ghost stories that you were able to find?
So they have, let me pull up. They, a lot of it was just like, former guests and the kind of standard.
A remote moving, a light turning on.
Yes, exactly. So they have, there's Anna's room in the bordello area.
Okay.
That is supposedly haunted. Maddie's room in the bordello area, and Rosie's room in the bordello area.
My.
Then upstairs, there's the Roosevelt room, the Oscar Grover room, the Rose room, the Silent room.
Silent.
Yes.
I will not be staying in the Silent room. That scares me.
Esther's room and the gentleman quarters on the ground floor, which has 5 beds and can sleep up to 10 guests.
Well then.
Also, this is if they have opened these rooms back up and are going to stay there, all rooms have shared baths.
Okay.
So it's very much still
like old school. You don't take too much time in the bathroom. Other people need to get it.
Exactly. There's a whole subsection also of evidence on their site.
Okay.
That has EVPs. There's the Shanley Hotel ghost cat apparition.
Oh, how cool.
A video of that.
Oh, fun.
Yes, there's a ton of EVPs. There's some other apparitions that they've caught. So Yeah, like there's definitely a lot of activity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. Well, I can't wait for us to go back so that like maybe we can like experience something.
Yeah, like see. Yeah.
And then freak out about it because we both will.
Yeah. There's shadow figures. There's Tippy the paranormal pup who's singing along. There's like it's worth like
going and checking it out.
Yes. There's more than we even want to cover right now because there's a million EVPs.
No, that's fine. Totally fine.
But
well, that's good to know. Yeah, we'll post the link for their website, but you can just Google Shanley Hotel.
Yes.
And it'll take you to their website.
Yes. And I'm just looking. They have Saturday, August 30th this year. They're doing a PRS Road Trip New York presents. And they're doing a paranormal activity day on
fun.
Yeah. So maybe we can go
maybe
up for
do
that. Yeah. So with its long history of tragedy, mystery, and ghostly encounters, the Shanley promises a night of deep investigation and chilling discoveries. PRS will guide you through the most active areas of the hotel, sharing insight, techniques, and personal stories along the way. It includes a meet and greet, a paranormal presentation, full access guided investigations, and optional add-ons that I don't know what they are. But
cool.
So they do host events. Yeah. There's an upcoming one, which means that they're open
again. Yes, thank goodness we'll get to get in there.
Yes, exactly. So that could be a fun little August trip.
Awesome.
At the very end of August.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know what we haven't done in a while that we're gonna do now?
Ooh, tell me.
We're gonna do Cryptid Who.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
It really has.
Okay. So, which one am I gonna do?
That is the question.
I'm gonna do this last one.
Okay.
And then I gotta remember that I did that.
Yes.
Okay. So you remember this, I usually give you a few clues and then I'll let you kind of guess, and then if you need hints,
okay.
I'll give you hints. So I can appear as a young woman, an old crone, or an ugly hag. Why does she have to be ugly?
I know. Why
can't she be a pretty hag?
Yeah.
Like,
Rude.
Why? Rude. I have long hair. My wailing is thought to be caused by the soul departing from its body.
Okay, so I can't think of the name, of course, but as soon as you said wailing, I was like, yes! The wailing witch, the wailing ghost, the white woman, the wailer, I don't remember.
I'm not giving it to you yet.
But yeah, keep going.
I'm known as a female spirit that foretells death by wailing. My origin is Ireland, which I did not know this. I didn't know that. Some say I'm more folklore than cryptid. Others say I'm a spirit. I know you know what this is.
I know.
And the minute I give you the name, you're going to be like, exactly.
Yes.
Because you're right with the description.
Yeah, I was like, I can describe it for you. I just can't tell you the name. As soon as I hear it, I'm going to be so mad. Because I know it. Go ahead and tell me.
It's the Banshee.
Oh, of course, it's the Banshee.
I know. And fun fact, the word Banshee comes from the Irish Beansea, which means woman of the fairy mounds.
Oh.
So, like I said, some say it plays more into folklore than a cryptid, but
yeah,
I kind of feel like fairies fall into the cryptid world.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a fun one.
I like that one, the Banshee.
You watched the original Charmed, right?
Yes.
Do you remember, was it Piper got turned into a Banshee?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. So that's like what I depict when I think
of
it's Holly Marie Combs
as
a Banshee.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. But anywho, as always, we are the Traveling Ghouls.
So hitchhiking ghosts beware.
Thank you.